Evening and welcome to Conversations from Backstage. I'm joined by some of the cast and the director of Church and State, our upcoming production, and we're going to talk to them a little bit about the play itself, rehearsing in COVID-19 era, and some other things. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to have them introduce themselves so I don't get something wrong. Go ahead.
Pat Frank, and I play Senator Charles Whitmore.
Nancy Dennis Campbell, and I'm his wife, Sarah Whitmore.
Montana Chambers, and I play Alex Klein.
Kimberly Frick-Welker, and I'm the director for this production.
So one of the weird things about this production is that we're rehearsing in this era of social distancing and things like that, and as actors we tend to get closer together. So how have you helped mitigate that during rehearsals?
Well, the first thing, we've been rehearsing, 7 weeks now,
Yeah.
about? Before they even enter the building, they wear masks. We've worn masks, cast and crew, throughout the rehearsal process. And then, fortunately, for a Backstage series, as you know, normally the audience would sit on the stage. It's a very intimate experience. But because of the situation we're in right now, we're doing this as a main stage production, which allows for social distancing for the audience, but also for the actors to give me a little flexibility in being creative with the directing. For instance, husband and wife have a scene where they're supposed to be kissing. That's not going to happen. We found another way to get the message across without that happening. Because the playwright is very specific in that this is present time and it's dealing with mass shootings, gun reform, things like that, he specifically has requested that anytime there's a mass shooting since he wrote the play, which was 2016, that we add unfortunately current mass shootings. And
Right.
because he wants to keep that present, we can't ignore the fact that we're doing this during a pandemic. So
Yeah.
we are going to incorporate mass into the production as well.
Oh, great. So, that's how you did it, but as an actor, I haven't acted in anything that we've been required to do that with. How has it been trying to rehearse in masks? Pat?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Because you play a lot off of facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
And as an actor, I'm cognizant of my facial expressions
Yeah.
to get a point across. I mean, you guys know, sometimes you can say something with your face without saying a word.
Yeah.
And we can't see each other. All we see are eyes.
Yeah.
And no, whatever's going on in here, you're not really sure.
Yeah.
So it's a little uncomfortable. It's a little stuffy.
Yeah.
But I think we've kind of gotten used to it now.
Yeah.
Well, and Nancy, at one night, you said, I'm showing so much, but you can't see it. And what I have discovered, and you always try to find the plus in this surreal world.
You gotta find that
right
silver
now,
lining.
is that it forces you to use your entire body to convey an emotion. And I'm
That's very
seeing more of
interesting.
that with I've worked with these actors. I'm seeing more of that with them, that they're forced to use their entire body to convey an emotion that they would rely on their face for. So.
Oh, that's good
Yeah.
acting anyway. Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you guys similar things or anything different that?
I'm using more eyebrow pencil
Oh yeah.
so that you can see
Accurate.
my eyebrows,
Yes. Yeah.
Breathing, because a lot of these long-winded things, you realize how much you really need to accurately
Pace your breathing.
pacing for it, because a lot of the times I'm already ready to go and saying it really fast, and I always need to slow down. So that right there, even always having to adjust it and stuff. But it's just another thing to be aware of, and the body language and
Well, the funny thing that both Montana and Pat, I had on my glasses and my mask, and I would be having a
Fogging
talk
up.
with them, and I'd go, my glasses would just
Ah,
fog
yes.
up like this, and they would just start laughing.
Yeah, and Pat
hard
just,
not
he
to.
broke down and started laughing one night. He said, I can't even see your eyeballs,
I was just fog.
Some windshield wipers
Yeah.
on there.
And I know, because that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Because I wear glasses. And I knew that she couldn't see anything.
Anything at all.
And that's what was funny to me.
Yeah. Well, trying to get out of a little bit of the COVID subject, but going to maybe just as heavy a subject, which is the subject matter of the play, which is gun reform, gun control. And you play a Republican senator of North Carolina, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, Republican senator who is a very strong proponent of the Second Amendment and a gun owner himself. And all his political career, he's been that bastion for, keeping your arms. Everybody can protect themselves.
Yeah.
And I think because of the school shooting, he not only questions his stance on guns, he now questions his faith.
Yeah. So not only does
And
it
so
get
it's not just a political
Yeah.
issue to him, it's every bit as much a religious issue to him and his wife.
yeah.
But it's not just any school. This school happens to be the school that your sons attend.
Right.
Your young boys, 6 and 7 years old.
Yeah.
They survive,
But friends
the
lose
two
their.
little
Yeah.
boys.
So it really hits home.
So
to you.
it hit home
It's
with
very
me, and
personal,
he's really having second thoughts on why he's been such a strong proponent for this and I think that's the world we live in. I mean, things aren't black and white
Sure.
to me. And we try to make this issue black or white, and somewhere you've got to find sensible ground that makes sense. And I think that's what he's struggling with. He's now second guessing his I'm for this no matter what to, hey, where's the sensible place
Balance.
and the balance, that both sides can live with. And so that more importantly, we can try to prevent some of these from happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Wow. Great answer to that. To what we were going in. So you guys, or gals, I guess. What does it feel like? I mean, this is a very divisive topic, and I don't know what your personal views are on gun reform, but like as you're doing this, does it feel? Are you thinking about how it's going to be presented to the audience, or does it make you uncomfortable to think about, especially since we're here in Tennessee, where there are a lot of proponents of strong Second Amendment types? Does that give you any pause?
Yeah,
or
I'm
anything?
definitely a little bit worried about people coming in and watching it and coming out being all like, oh, trying to tell me about things. And because that's once again the day we live in now with the masks. Even
Yeah.
we so set in our ways of what is our God-given right,
And it's funny, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the play itself doesn't really give a definitive answer.
No.
It really kind of rides that fence.
And that's my answer about this,
Yeah.
is that I have spoken to people out in the community telling them what the play is about, and it really is, I feel like Pat said, about finding the compromise and finding the center and in everything. And so I'm not really concerned about anyone leaving the audience feeling as though their viewpoint hasn't been heard.
Well, see, that's funny because I go back to thinking about a play that I directed that never came to a definitive point, but it was about religion, and people came out feeling like their side had been attacked or it hadn't been attacked, or these things. And it's very interesting because this type of play, when it doesn't give a definitive answer by the end, people bring out of it a lot of times what they brought in,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense at
That
all.
could be
And
true, yeah.
And I'm just wondering. I'm wondering
feel
if that's
as
It does. It depends on the individual.
Yeah, but I feel as though there are a few key moments and statements that if someone was thinking about their position, they might change a little bit. We can't ask for broad change.
no.
Right.
We can get small incremental change.
Jason Odell Williams, the playwright, there's a lot of humor in this play, and that's purposeful, because what he says is when you're dealing with a heavy subject matter and trauma, you also have to deal with the human aspect that, we all have our moments where in the moment of tragedy something is funny, and he brings out how real and raw these characters are in any given moment, especially with these two. But he said, ultimately, all I'm hoping for is that this may open up the dialogue on what can we do as adults, as parents, as politicians, leaders, in opening up the dialogue to come to some sort of middle ground to make this a safer world for our children.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good. Well, I think that's a great like first look at it, and to meet you guys a little bit here before you people come and see the play.
Well, and I have to give props to Matt, because he's not just doing conversations from backstage, he's also our technical director. There's a lot of sound stuff that happens with this show, a lot of voiceovers. I don't know if we've done a show with this many voiceovers.
I don't believe so.
Just a lot of stuff technically involved with this show as well, so I want to give props to Matt.
He's the
because
best.
Again,
Ah.
he's wearing many, many hats.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But thanks for joining me, guys. I'm glad that we could sit down and talk to you, get a little bit of an overview of the play before people come, and hopefully it'll be a great, safe experience for everybody.
Yeah, please come out and support the arts. We are making it safe. Masks are mandatory when you come in. Open seating, not open seating, what am I trying to say?
Socially distanced.
Socially
Socially distancing.
Spacing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spacing, yes.
Yeah, and it'll be easy when you come in. You'll be sitting in the auditorium, and you'll know where you can sit and where you can't, and
Right.
you'll be able to be apart from people, which is good in a way.
Apart together.
Apart together. Yes, there we go. Well, thank you very much.